So, what actually makes a camera professional? Is it just about a higher price tag, or is there some real specific technology going on inside? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the pro streaming camera. We're going to break down the key features that can take your content from feeling, kind of amateur to looking like a real broadcast. Okay, let's get into it. And this is the big question for so many people, right? How do you get that polished, super professional look when it's, well, just you? Maybe you're a solo creator running a stream for your church or a small business. That's the challenge. You really need the camera to do the heavy lifting for you. All right, let's start with a problem pretty much everyone runs into: distance. You've got your camera set up way at the back of the room, but your subject is all the way up on a stage. How in the world do you get that perfect, tight close-up shot without it looking all grainy and terrible? It's all about the zoom. Okay, so this is a really, really important difference. On the left, you've got digital zoom. Honestly, it's basically just cropping a photo. You're just blowing up the pixels you already have and you lose all that nice detail. But on the right, that's optical zoom. This uses a real physical lens to actually magnify the image so it stays perfectly crisp and clear. For that professional look, optical zoom is absolutely non-negotiable. And we're not talking about just a little bit of zoom here. We're talking about something like a 30X optical zoom. That is a huge leap. I mean, picture a wedding videographer stuck at the very back of a big church. With 30X zoom, they can get a beautiful, tight, emotional close-up of the vows from 100 feet away with absolutely zero loss in quality. It's a game changer.
Okay, so what if you're the one on camera? If you're the pastor giving a sermon or the presenter or YouTuber moving around your studio, you can't be behind the camera and in front of it at the same time. This is what we could call the moving target problem, and the answer is a camera that can basically direct itself.
And the whole idea is that you can just stop worrying about camera operation. This is all thanks to something called AI tracking, and believe me, it has completely changed the game for anyone working solo. So how does this magic actually work? Well, it's surprisingly simple. You literally just tap to select the person you want to follow on screen. You can even set up a few different zones they'll move between, say from a podium over to a whiteboard. Then you just press one button on the remote, and that's it. The camera's AI locks on and just smoothly follows them, keeping them perfectly in the frame.
And this isn't just some neat tech theory, it has a huge real-world impact. This quote from a pastor really says it all. Finally, I can focus on my message while the camera works automatically. And that's the whole point, right? To make the technology so good that you can just forget about it and focus on what actually matters, your message.
All right, next up, let's talk about the setup itself. I mean, anyone who's ever dealt with video gear knows that nightmare of cables everywhere, right? You've got one for power, another for the video signal, a third for camera control. It's a mess. But what if you could do all of that with just one single cable? The magic phrase you're looking for is PoE, which stands for Power over Ethernet. It's this awesome technology that lets a single standard network cable carry everything: the power for the camera, the data to control it, and the video signal. It is the ultimate way to simplify any setup. But of course, being a pro camera isn't just about having one cable. It's about having the right connections for any situation. So yeah, you've got your standard HDMI that everyone knows. But you also get professional ports like 3G SDI. That's the industry standard for sending perfect, uncompressed video over really long cables to a broadcast switcher. Then there's USB for plugging right into a computer for a Zoom call or a simple live stream. All this flexibility means it can fit into pretty much any workflow you can dream up. Now let's talk about a future that you might not even think about until it becomes a huge problem. I'm talking about noise. You see, when a camera moves, when it pans or tilts, the little motor inside can make a sound. Now, in a really quiet place like a church or a conference or a recording studio, that little mechanical whirring sound is a massive, unseen distraction. And you can see the difference in engineering right here. The old way often used these noisy metal gears that would kind of grind and wear down over time. But the pro way, it uses a synchronous belt system. It's engineered specifically for silent, smooth movement that not only preserves the quiet atmosphere of your space, but also means the camera is going to be a lot more reliable in the long run. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. We've talked about zoom, we've talked about AI tracking, connectivity, and silent operation. This next slide is basically your feature cheat sheet. It connects all the problems we just talked about directly to the pro-level tech that solves them. So here it is, your cheat sheet. Problem? You're too far away from your subject?
The solution is a powerful optical zoom. You don't have a camera operator? No problem. The latest generation of AI tracking can take over for you. Are you sick of that complicated nest of wires? Power over Ethernet is your answer. And that distracting motor noise? A synchronous belt system makes it disappear. See? Each one of these pro features is a direct solution to a very real-world challenge. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it kind of leads us to one last question to think about. Is the best camera the one you forget is even there? Because really, that's the whole point of all this pro technology. It's designed to work so seamlessly, so effectively, that it just becomes invisible, freeing you up to just create and communicate your message.